Hi, my name is Ray Lavery and I am now 11 months and 3 days on testosterone. So I thought I would do a quick catch-up video, seeing as I've pretty much managed to do it for the entire year. So what has happened? I have now had top surgery. I went to the States and got that done with the lovely Laurel Chandler, who did a phenomenal job. I can't show you, I'm sorry, because we shot a documentary on this, so you'll have to wait for that for the reveal. But the results were absolutely amazing, and I'm really, really pleased. Absolutely no scarring whatsoever. So she did an amazing job, and I'm so pleased with that. So that has obviously been a big change. I am now about 5 weeks post-op, so getting back to doing some exercise. There's still a little bit of swelling, but very little pain. There's no pain actually at all, just the odd tweak that I can hear, and I have got sensation, which is incredible. I didn't think that I actually would. So that has gone incredibly well. I'm very excited. I'm just kind of getting used to all of that, which is great. So what else has happened? Since I have changed over from the gels to Sustanon, things have changed. I was saying that I did, well, back in October, I guess, that things weren't moving as fast as I wanted, which makes sense because I was on a lower dose, and I was also on the gels, which doesn't absorb as much as you might think. And so I made the decision that once we were past that sort of like 6-7 month stage, to move on to the injections, to kind of get the levels up a little bit more, and move things along, which it has. Now, changes are, I mean, a lot of the changes were already in play anyway. My voice has definitely changed. It's still breaking. I still can't go high. I still sound ridiculous, but at the same time, it is much deeper, and I am starting to get recognized as male on the phone, and that's new. So I'm very pleased about that. Also, I'm still on taking Minoxidil to help with the beard, and I can see here there's some stuff starting to happen here. So this is about sort of, let's say, almost 2 weeks of growth. So I'm going to leave it grow now. I was shaving it every week, but now I'm going to leave it and just kind of trim it and just see basically what happens. So it's due a trim, but it's not going to happen, not for a couple of days anyway. So yeah, just to kind of see what's going on. Now I'm also on Minoxidil, which is, again, I think really helping. Again, I don't know if you can really see, but there is quite a bit. There's all these hairs are kind of very, there's a lot of hair here, but it's all very fine hair, but it's starting to fall out and coming back with darker hair. So it's significantly faster than I thought. I didn't think I'd be getting a beard ever, or any sort of facial hair ever, because my family just doesn't grow hair, and it took my brothers years. So Minoxidil is absolutely phenomenal stuff. It's really working. Now, something else has happened on Minoxidil that I didn't really expect is that my hair up here has got a lot thicker. It's got a lot thicker and it's got wiry. And I didn't expect that because I have very thin hair most of the, like, I've always had thin hair. Yeah, it's got thicker. So grand, that's good. More hair on the head, which is great. Not losing hair, growing hair, fabulous. So that's absolutely great. Hair on arms and legs and stuff like that, there's still just a very light covering, but I'm not really expecting any hair there, which is absolutely grand. Nothing on the chest. A bit of a sort of like a bit on my lower tummy, just below my belly button. There's definitely some hair there. Hair around sort of the groin area, but not very much, which is fine. I don't really want to be hairy. So that takes care of that side of things. Now, what I have noticed since I've changed over to Sustanon is I was injecting into the thighs, and the injection itself didn't hurt, but I was really sore for about a week afterwards, and I was wondering if it was because I was just terrible at doing an injection, which could possibly be the case, but actually what I think now is that because I'm so active, and I walk around a lot, is that basically I'm overusing a now damaged muscle, and my leg literally swells, and it swells for about a week, and it becomes very uncomfortable, which means I can't really do much exercise, I can't really do much running, and I don't like that anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the injection site and see if that makes a difference. So there are 4 basic injection sites. So one is your thigh, your quad, and the other one is just sort of the back of the buttocks there into sort of the glute. Then there's one on sort of the stomach area, just sort of like, if I stood up, somewhere around here. And then there's the into the arm, into the deltoid. So I'm going to go into the deltoid because I don't fancy injecting in there or in the stomach, so I'm gonna go there. So I'm going to see if this makes a difference and see if it's not so sore, because I'm back doing a lot of workouts now. And if I can't work out because I'm sore, what's the point? So what I've done is I've actually already prepared my testosterone injection because I am now due to do that. And I'm going to give myself a little injection here in the arm and see if that makes a difference. And I will report back in April, which will be my 1 year on testosterone. But definitely I have seen things feel very different on sustanon, and what I've noticed is that my face has also changed shape as well, and also because there's a little bit of hair and I'm leaving it there, I'm now getting recognized as male about 30% of the time when I'm out and about. I had a day on Wednesday there where basically every single person who addressed me as sir. And that was brilliant because a month ago, absolutely nobody was doing that. I also was getting a lot of looks from people who couldn't quite figure me out. So sitting on the tube and people noticing me and kind of going, what's going on there? And a few people really staring. So fair enough. It's progress. It's absolutely progress. But the majority of people paid no attention whatsoever. So I don't know what that meant to them, but there were definitely a lot of people looking, which I like. It means it's on the way, and that was something that I was starting to get worried about, that it wouldn't actually happen, because there were no real changes. But I don't know if I look significantly different. You can look at the previous videos, but I look quite different to how I looked almost a year ago. But anyway, so I have pre-prepared my testosterone, which you already know. So I'm going to give the injection now. Let's just use an alcohol swipe here just to sort of clean the area. Not done one here before, so this may be a train wreck, but let's see. It's all prepared. So 3 fingers down from the bone. 1, 2, 3. What's there? Sure, you can quite see what's going on there. Just turn around. Is that done? Alcohol swab. Probably an unnecessary band-aid, but it's going on anyway. All right, there we go. Now, done. That will all be that was fine. I didn't go in as deep as I would normally would on the muscles, because obviously there's not as much muscle there as there would be on the quad. But that takes care of the testosterone injection. I can now go and get my bloods done. I've been attempting every time I'm doing this to get my bloods, but my GP has been getting it wrong. And when they do the blood test, they are not giving me the actual amount of the actual numbers on the testosterone and estrogen. They're just giving me abnormal, which means absolutely nothing, because I need to send the actual abnormal number over to Gender GP so they can see if I'm on the right dosage. And I've been trying this for 5 months and they've messed it up every single time. So you have to get your blood test done on the day of your testosterone injection so that they can figure that out. So anyway, I'm off this afternoon to get my blood test. So there we go. That is, I think, everything that's happening. I don't think there's anything else, because not much else has changed. It's just a little bit more of the same. I can't believe I've got to 11 months. I didn't think, like a year ago, this seemed like so far away. And as usual, like everybody is saying, time has absolutely flown. Next month will be a year. Now, actually, I will make one point, is that even though I will be a year on testosterone, because the levels of T are so different between the gels and the sustanon, I really kind of count myself as about sort of like 5 or 6 months on T, because the changes that I'm seeing now are more in line with what other people are saying who are on the injections, rather than just the patches, not the patches, the gels, because the gels you absorb a lot less. So the changes are slower, which is what I was doing on purpose, but now it's speeding them up. So even though I'm 11 months on testosterone, with the changes that are coming up, it's more like about sort of 5 months on testosterone. But that's fine. It's all a work in progress. I'm pretty happy with how things are going. I'm fairly relaxed, extremely relaxed now that top surgery has done. That was all very stressful, waiting, anticipating going for that, because we also had to deal with Omicron and etc. etc. And would we get on flights and blah. Anyway, it was yeah, done. So there we go. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you at the 1 year anniversary. Bye.